Okay, everybody. So here we back to dispel or debunk another quick myth that a lot of these alt-right people or these let's see how can I explain this to you? The extreme right conservatives who like to down the black community will always say the blacks are degenerates. The black Americans are the most uneducated group in America. Well, that is false, and we are going to prove that. Okay, so there's 46, excuse me, there's 4.16 million African American or Black American people in the US. According to the census, 22.6% of these African American or Black people have bachelor degrees or higher. There are 2.1 million sub Saharan African immigrants here in the US. 40% of those 2.1 million African immigrants have bachelor's degrees or higher. There are 4.5 million black immigrants in the United States that are of Caribbean descent. Of those 4.5 million Caribbean immigrants, 22% have a bachelor's degrees or higher. So, unfortunately, because of how black people, African Americans, and all black immigrants or African immigrants, however you want to choose it, are thrown into the same category of African or Black American. Unfortunately, we cannot separate or distinguish between the two. So we do know that I did do the calculations. There's 9,900. No, excuse me. There is 990,000 Caribbean immigrants with bachelor degrees or higher. There's 840,000 African immigrants with bachelor degrees or higher. We do not know how many Black Americans who are not of foreign descent have bachelor's degrees or higher because in these censuses and surveys, Black American or African American consist of African immigrants and Caribbean immigrants. So there's actually no way to determine this. So, for that argument, there is no statistical statistics for this. There is no proof to decide this argument. So, what we will do is go with the statistics. So, we know that the African or Black American racial group consists of native born Black Americans, African immigrants, and Caribbean immigrants, which totals up to 4.6 million people. And of that 41.6 million people, 22.6% have bachelor degrees or higher. Now, there's 62.57 million Hispanics that are living in the US. Of that 62 million, 16.8 million live below the poverty line, according to this, according to the ones who actually even signed the census. Yes, unauthorized illegal immigrants are accounted for in the census under Hispanics. Okay, a survey commissioned by several groups found the perceptions of the size of the undocumented Latino population range from 30% of Latinos, the number ascribed by Asian Americans, to nearly 1 in 4, the perception of African Americans. Even Latinos believe that the share of undocumented Hispanics is larger than it is. Latinos put the number at 36% as undocumented illegals. When it comes to the number of Hispanics, the numbers is really shaky because you got so many illegals included in the census. Then you got literally thousands of illegals hopping the border right now. So when it comes to their statistics, uh, let's just say it gets a little shady. So there are 9.7 million Native Americans living in the U.S. According to the census data, close to 27% of Native Americans live in poverty. Okay, there's 18.43 million Asians living in the US. And 54% of those Asians have a bachelor's or higher. Okay, there's 4,460,000 Indians living in the USA. Of that amount, 15% of them have bachelor's or higher. There's 3.8 million Middle Easterners living in the USA. Of that amount, 53.2% of them have bachelor's or higher. There's 231.9 million whites in the United States of America. Of that amount, 41.8% of them have bachelor's or higher. So, I'm going to spare y'all all the time of sitting here to calculate all of this, but I'll just read off what we got. Of the black population in the US, there are 9,401,000 bachelor degrees or higher. The white population, there's 96,934,000 with bachelor degrees or higher. Of Asian Americans, there's 9,952,000. Indian Americans, 1,427,000. Middle Eastern Americans, 2,021,000. Native Americans, 1,493,000. So no, Black Americans or African Americans are not the most least educated group in America. That's false. The most educated group in America, we're going to read off a list in order. Number 1 are the white Americans. Number 2 are the Asians. Number 3 are the Middle Eastern Americans. Number 4 are the Native Americans. And number 5 are the Indians. And this is sheerly going by not only percentage-wise, but the total amount of bachelor's degrees or higher that is earned by all of these racial groups. Not the percentage, but the total amounts. Now, I've given all of you these numbers. I personally put them in here to calculate the percentages myself, and you can do it yourself. And here it is. So that's Debunked. Y'all have a good day. Goodbye.
You know I'm surgical with this bitch, Jake. How you want it, dog? Huh?